So in looking at the major components of the ecology and the different associations in the juniper sagebrush of Oregon here, some of the main plants and some of the things to look for. First of all, we have the sagebrush, which is right here. And a lot of people confuse the sagebrush with this plant that's blooming, the bitter brush, the Persea tridentata. Those are some of the main components here, along with the juniper trees coming up behind me, the little bitty ones. But another thing you'll find here is rabbit brush, the Chrysothamnus, which his names have been changed, of course. This is the green species of rabbit brush, which is much more visible, and end up with bright yellow flowers. And we have this grayish version of the rabbit brush, a different Chrysothamnus, and once again they've been changed to new names. What we can see is sagebrush and bitter brush mixed in with these different colored rabbit brush. And notice how this rabbit brush in particular mixes right in with the color of the sage. People often confuse it. The sagebrush, Artemisia tridentata. More importantly here, the rabbit brushes, although they are normal components of the ecosystem, they have a tendency to get in greater quantity when there's disturbance or overgrazing. So, for example, when you're driving through Central Oregon and places as sagebrush juniper, and you see all sagebrush, and then all of a sudden there's a fence, and on the other side of the fence it's solid rabbit brush. That's a sign of grazing. That's what's happened. And in this area where I am, you may notice right by the road is all this rabbit brush, but then as you look up the hill, you just go a short distance and there's hardly any rabbit brush. I mean, there's still a little bit, but there's hardly any. That's because the disturbance happened right here by the road. At one point, this part of the road, probably people were camping or some other thing happened, cars driving through. Either way, this became disturbed at one point, and so that's what we're seeing here. This is one of the ways to learn to read the ecosystem, like a book. That's a very important skill wherever you are, is to learn the lands where you are in a way where you can get direct knowledge from the earth and from the plants themselves by learning how the plants grow and different things around them. And here I'm giving you one tip about going into the sagebrush country and being able to tell the disturbance based upon the amount of rabbit brush.